Welcome to the Between the Pages podcast. Today we're going to be talking about helping from page to practice, helping kids live out what they read.
Yeah, that's a good topic. I'm Jimmy. This is Sarah. This is our podcast. Welcome. Yeah, I mean, when we were kids, that's what we had. We had imagination, and we'd read books, and we'd go out and we'd try to be Superman. Or we'd try to try to do something, right? And so, our books are.
Most all of the books of the Yishkin Books collection, they all have a theme.
There's some things like Be Free. Okay, we'll just take that one off the top of my head. It's about plants and bees and their
but there's also like kindness in it.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying there's differences, and so it's teaching you about diversity.
Yeah.
Okay, because insects are nothing like plants, and plants are not anything like insects, but yet they need one another in order to survive. And the bees are always working.
Yeah.
Good work ethic, and so their winter's coming, and so they're preparing. They're gathering pollen, making honey. They're tending to the hive. They're protective. They protect the hive, and that kind of stuff. And so there's lots of different themes in there, and so you want to instill a good work ethic in your children. You want to teach them to be respectful of other people's differences, And that was one of the good aspects of Molly, the disabled chicken. There are people with disabilities,
and some of them are on the inside you don't even know about.
Yeah.
Some of them are on the outside, you can see them, but those aren't even really the bad ones sometimes.
Well, you don't know what kind of difference that makes in a person's life. So when you stand up for them, or everybody else is picking on them, or they're bullying them because they're different or whatever, and you're like, oh, that's not right, y'all. You need to behave differently, and that makes an impression on the person being picked on. It may not make much of an impression on the people doing the picking on them, but or whatever the words are.
And sometimes it is. So, like with kids and stuff, it's like when one kid in the group stands up for the kid outside the group, the other kids sometimes there's no. At least in the movies, I don't know, I didn't really hang out with bullies, but it seems like there's like, a lot of the kids don't necessarily want to pick on the little kid, but there's one kid that kind of encourages the group to do that.
Yeah.
And so then when one person stands up for the person being picked on, the other ones who really aren't into it are like, yeah, let's stand up for him, and then it basically gets rid of the bully.
Well, but, the bully's always there. The bully's still there. But the thing is the bully no longer has any power, if you will. He's just got to find a new set of friends to do it, or
change
not pick on that person anymore. Or change, it's potential the bully could change, So, but, I mean, I guess,
That's why it's from page to practice. Stories are powerful, but only if they move into real life. And so you can pick one of at least from our books, you can pick one of the books and see what its theme is, and not throw your pen, and see what its theme is.
Coordination issue, obviously.
See what the theme is of the book, and then bring it into practice. So, like, simple ones are kindness, courage, honesty, service. And
you
turn it into the theme of the week.
You can go a long ways towards being a person with no thorns.
Yeah.
If you're a prickly kind of person, and the people have to step around you, and they never know what you're going to get.
Oh yeah, it's like almost worse than eggshells.
Well, yeah, but I mean, being a person without thorns is more than just eggshell walking. It's like if with an eggshell person, you never know, they're quick to anger, which is a mental illness problem. Need to get some assistance with that. But no, if all you ever offer is negative advice or negative responses, then you eventually become a person people don't want to consult with.
Yeah.
And so...
Or if every time you go talk to them, it's like you get some kind of harsh thing back, and it's like, I just wanted to talk to you about this little situation. I didn't want all of this. I didn't want to start a new problem. I just wanted to talk.
Well, yeah.
About
so
something.
when you're teaching your kids, that's one of the things you're going to want to deal with. You know, as far as, you know, personal relationship building or whatever.
Yeah, I gotta talk to Eleanor about that, because her thing is, it'll be okay, which is good, except she needs to realize sometimes other people, like, they're not rubber, like she is, obviously. It'll be okay. It'll be okay.
She's not even 4 yet, right? Okay.
She's like, it'll be okay, everything. It'll be okay.
It'll be okay. It will be okay.
Oh, yeah.
I know what she's trying to say. Okay, this too will pass, you know, and so you'll get over it, or you won't, and it's going to be okay, because it doesn't impact her.
Yeah.
She's just moving on with her
even
life.
when it is her, she's like, it'll be okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, you know, she's been lucky. I mean, she's had her share of scrapes and bruises and falls and stuff, and it's always okay.
Oh, yeah, I know.
You know, so, it's always okay. So then, you know,
even my friends are like, is she normal? Is she okay? She got stung by a bee, and she was, like, pouty for literally, like, a minute. And then she was like, it's okay. It'll be okay. And they're like, my kid would still be crying.
Well, I mean, you know, she has a different kind of personality and a different kind of way of facing problems. And so this is, you know, this is good. You know, you need those types of people. And, you know, it's a good example. I mean, you don't want to be comparing your kid to other kids, but, you know, look, why can't you be like Eleanor? Look, she got stung by a bee, and she's not all pouty about it, you know. I mean, you know.
Oh, and then there's Lillian, who, like, you just think about, if she just thinks that she got stung by a bee, she's crying about it.
Yeah, right, exactly. So there's different personality types. But that's the point of what we're talking about is,
Eleanor goes over to her, it'll be okay, baby. It'll be okay.
Yeah, it'll be okay. Well, you know, she'd probably make a good parent, you know. I mean, you know, because, I mean, there's things that are worth getting, you know, wound up about, and then there's other things you got to let your kids fall. You got to let them get up, you know. You got to let them experience, you know, failures, you know, and learn from those failures and don't do them again. And those are all difficult lessons to teach, because you want to be there nurturing.
But you don't want to hover and not let them learn.
Yeah, but that's the problem.
Yeah.
What you're talking about is exactly what happens, you know. And so you got to know somewhere or draw the line. You're not always going to be there to hover, and you're not always going to be there to help. And the child needs to learn to stand on their own 2 feet and, you know, rely on their own judgment and their own ability. And I mean, you know, God's there and all of that, right? Helping them to be able to do that, and it's not just them that are doing it. You know, so you want to have that God-centered focus that, you know, you do all things with His help. But at the same time, you have to take some responsibility for, you know, everything that you do, and live with the consequences of it. I mean, you know, that's the other part. There's not really a whole lot of consequences these days. You know, if you do something, we'll just you pass anyway.
Yeah.
You know, we'll give you a grade. You know, or you know, you get a reward. Oh yeah, you didn't do as well as everyone else, but here, have some ice cream. Yeah. You know, so everybody gets. You know, it's kind of interesting.
So you take one of the simple takeaways from the book and turn it into the theme of the week, and you know, you don't have to make every single waking moment about it, but, you know, just talk about it, celebrate little moments here and there when your kid does something, you know, to live out that kindness. Kindness is an easy one, but, you know, courage and honesty.
Be Free is the kindness book. You know, Jake is discernment. Abel is
service,
you know, technology and how to deal with addiction. Is you know, the technology addiction is just like really any other type of addiction.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so
and almost worse because it's like accepted. It's okay.
Yeah, well,
it's not.
Used to be, man. I mean, you know, you could get drunk in public and drive around, and then they came out with MAD, and so Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and then suddenly it became not socially fashionable anymore to be a drunk driver, whereas before everybody thought it was kind of humorous.
Wow,
you know?
That's wild.
Yeah. You missed all of that.
Yeah,
and so eventually someday they'll have some, you know, Mothers Against Technology Devices, MATD or something. I might have just made up something.
MATD.
You know, but yeah, it'll become unfashionable again, and it'll become something that's in focus, and people will start dealing with it. But until that happens, It's just going to be thought that this is okay.
Yeah.
And so the thing is what you want to do is you want to instill in your children ahead of time to avoid addiction. Well, Abel's a good book for that. You know, and then like we touched on Silly Millie and the race. Everybody has a different race to run.
Yeah.
And you need to focus on your race and not be focused on other people's races, you know, and what their race they're running, you know.
Yeah, they have the little, you know, I'm all about the little slogans and things that people put out there and the knick-knack quotes and whatever. But they have this one that's like, don't, and I think I've said this before on our podcast, don't like compare don't compare where God has you to where the devil has someone else. Right. Because you might be struggling on whatever you got going on, and they might only be doing well because they're doing something bad. Well, you know, I mean,
it could be they're just in some type of bondage.
Yeah.
And, you know, it looks like they're not. In reality, they can't escape, you know.
They're in a different season of life, too.
They need somebody like you to help free them.
Yeah.
You know? So that's what happened to Clint. You know, he was, you know, stuck in his life of not being a gent, and he needed something outside himself to save him, you know, to help free him. So that's a good moral, you know, good theme, discipline, if you will, from that one. And then Jane heard things about prayer and the 7 pillars of wisdom and what those are, and, you know, the keys of David and the 23rd Psalm. There's a lot of themes in there. You know, you're going to have...
If you haven't seen it, go watch that. Author Insights. It's
well, you know,
good.
Yeah, if you're gonna have challenges in life, you know, walk through the valley of the shadow of death kind of thing, you might want to have already internalized that before that happens.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, you got to start that process somewhere, and the younger the better. Like I said, unfortunately for me, I didn't start Psalms until later in life.
Yeah.
But, you know, if you can start your child down that path early in life, then you can avoid a whole lot of problems later in life.
Oh, yeah.
You know, because they'll
that
be
song,
able to...
There's that one song, the Great Anne Marie or something like that, told her about Psalms 23.
Oh, yeah, that's a good... I like that song.
Kind of keeps it, you know, in the back of your mind.
It's in her heart.
For whenever something does happen, you don't have to go, oh, let me go to the Bible and get some answers. You just have it.
Yeah, she's already memorized verse 23 or whatever. It's in her heart, and so, you know, it's the first thing that comes to mind, you know. She's not sitting around looking for answers or trying to figure out what's going on. She knows where to go.
Yep.
And so, you know, it's that. And then Rosie, you know, the Proverbs 31 wife, there's several themes in there. You know, like I say, it's tall order for anybody to meet that, but, you know, just pick one.
Yeah.
And try to work on that, you know, a little bit. And then, you know, Jemima Jope, dealing with mental issues and trauma. That's a good one to have in your library and to have. And then Greg, the evangelist, he's just Greg. He's just going Johnny, the selfless servant. You know, that's good. And like I said, we got Molly coming out with disabilities.
All of the different books are going to have their own theme. So that's why if you have the Ishkini Books collection, we invite you to choose one of the books and practice that out for a week.
Yeah, that's why I was going over that, because you were saying that pick a theme out of one of them or pick an item out of one of them. Well, which one would you pick? Some of them, people don't own all those books. You know, or they're new. They're new subscribers to the channel or whatever. I mean, I think there's like 14,000 or something like that now, and it's like, you know, that's a lot of people that have come on in the past few months that they don't know anything about this early work that we did or the early podcast. Who wants to go back and watch it? Even I watched podcast number 1 the other day. I saw it by accident or something. I'm like, oh man, we were so hokey back then. We were just starting. Remember that first podcast?
I don't even really. I know we were like, you know, oh, this is what we plan to do. And I know I had wanted to do like book readings, and I haven't done any of those. Maybe I'll set some time aside before classes start back up and do some of those, because then there would be a book reading, you know. Yeah. Well, I don't know. There was lots of things we were going to do with this channel, and we've done a lot of them.
Yeah, and that's another reason why we sometimes for y'all that watch have been around a while, you might be hearing some of the similar concepts being tossed about again. But there's a reason for that. It's because, well, there's new people that
Yeah.
weren't here previously, and I'm pretty confident they don't want to go back and watch all those old podcasts. And frankly, some of them are kind of embarrassing in a way. Not that I'm embarrassed easily or whatever, but yeah. And so, but yeah, we were learning, just like anything else. We struggled through our microphone issues. We struggled through our lighting issues. We struggled through our camera issues.
This lighting's way better.
Yeah, I mean, so
than what it used to be.
And so we tried a lot, and that's the same kind of thing with your children. You try some things, and it's like, well, okay, that's just not quite right. We need to fine tune that a little bit, or make this a little better, or a little different, to get to where you really want to be.
Yeah.
And it may be that our book is helpful in doing that. It may be that you need other outside, influence to fine tune it. And we aren't a church. We aren't pastors. We're not, any of that. So you should find yourself a good congregation of people that you can depend on, that are there for you, and a good pastor to guide you and help you with the word, to understand it. I don't think it gets any better than God Himself and the Holy Spirit, but
it's always good to have a good community.
Yeah, it's always beneficial to have those things, and you shouldn't forsake that. And so the thing is what we do here is just one aspect of early childhood development, I guess you'll call it. And if you don't get your child involved in something similar to this, or close to this or something, then they're going to be involved in some other program that's more secular, and you're going to get those results. So yeah, it's good.
So, from page to practice.
Yeah.
So
take a page and give it a shot. Put it to work. I mean, Fig and Zig. When Fig and Zig, I mean, it's looking good. We had very few comments.
This is our first podcast of the new year, 2026.
Yeah, so it will be.
It should be here soon.
It will be in design. I mean, it will be out of illustration. It's got just a few comments, and once that's done, it's ready. And so it'll be coming out, and you could pick one page out of there.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm excited. I like all the books. I'm really excited about that one.
Yeah.
I was looking at it and I was like, this is good. This is a good one. They're all good.
Yeah.
But that one's really nifty.
Yeah, it's kind of a different approach to things, and so it's like, it's going to be fun. And the thing is, there's a lot of illustrations in that one, and it's like you say, it's like 17, 18 illustrations, something like that. And so, there's a lot of...
It's a long one. I know that because I remember going down to the bottom, and then I had to go back up to the top, and I just kept scrolling and scrolling. I was like, that's a long book.
It didn't start out that way either. It started out as like 12.
Yeah.
And it just kept, going.
And
after the publicist looked at it, she's like,
you had to get like extra approval.
Yeah. She was like, there's too many actions here. You got to break this up, And my problem is I try to put too many actions on a single page.
Yeah.
And so with the nest, that's what's going on right now. And the publicist is looking at it, and she's going, no. You're going to have to spread this out.
Too much.
Yeah, and so I'm like, okay, well, I don't know. I'm really not sure in this particular case how I'm going to be able to do that, And so, but yeah.
It's a process.
So, but taking a page out of each one of the books, or,
spending a week on it, more than just story time.
Yeah. You'd be lucky to make it through the year on the first 5 books. Yeah. You'd be lucky.
Well, it's just from page to practice, bringing kindness into everyday practice, or service into everyday practice. How can you do that?
Oh, young JG, he's out there. He's helping the poor.
Yeah.
He's working in the soup kitchen. He's drilling wells. He's building schools.
Yeah.
He's teaching.
And there's things that you can do in your community to help out. There's needs and lots of ways to help.
And whether you're a Jordan Peterson fan or not, I read the book, and I think it was like chapter 10. He's like, before you try to change the world, why don't you try cleaning your own room?
Yeah.
So get your bedroom in order. Get your closet in order. You clean your room, and then hey, maybe you can move into the rest of the house after that. Start working on it, and eventually, once you get your own house in order, then perhaps maybe you might be ready to go into your neighborhood. and just start helping people there. Get your neighborhood in order and help people there. And what I found is you barely have time to ever get into going into the world, because you're so busy getting your own self together and getting your own house together, and then helping the people that are around you and working in the community that you live in. And we have a small community here, and there's a lot of need here.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what it's like in some of these bigger cities. You could dedicate your life to it and never leave your block that you live on. Just be there forever, working to make things better for people. Helping with their yards, cutting their bushes, tending to help paint their house, help them put on a roof, help them clean up, help them organize, help them do whatever, just provide, people who are lonely, provide companionship. There's the list is endless.
Yeah.
Of things to do.
For sure.
So, yeah.
So, that's all we have for you this time. Join us next time on the Between Page podcast. Like, subscribe, and follow from here.
Yep, and thank you very much. Appreciate your time.